boy, stop being lazy. Yeah, and I became creative. And I learned how to create it. And now that pride's for me. So come see. Oh, come here.
Welcome back to the Silver Liner Podcast. I am your host, S Class, and this is my co-host, the Drunken Cam. What's going on with you, Cam? There you go. Got to hit that. How was your Christmas, my boy?
I am feeling the holiday spirit, my boy. Feeling loved, feeling happy. Got to give love to people I care about as well. It's been a good Christmas. It's been a good holiday season so far, man.
Hey, awesome. Hey, look, I've been getting a little of that magic myself, in fantasy. We managed to make it to the championship. Woo! We in the championship. The Falcons won and switched to Penix. And we didn't get a chance to talk about this, but before the last time when we recorded and got it up in the afternoon of Sunday, which was before we got the final results for the Buccaneers-Cowboys game. Go ahead, put an exclamation mark on that Christmas spirit. The Cowboys have managed to beat the Bucs. I love to see it, love to hear it, love to feel it. Love it when that happens, when you starting to feel the hope fade a little bit. When Washington won that close game against Philly, I was kind of not feeling as optimistic. I was like, the Cowboys not nobodies, but it was a couple of games the Bucs had this year where I'm like, I couldn't believe they won those games, right? Especially down the stretch. And I'm like, okay, so the Bucs just gonna be one of them teams that just figure it out, even when they should have lost those games. Like when they played in Carolina. I don't know if anybody watched that game. If you watched that game, Carolina should have won that game. Carolina should have won that game. But that's not what happened. The Carolina was already in field goal position. They were just running the ball, getting a few more yards or whatever, and they forced a fumble on Chuba Hubbard. And I think this might have been the game after he got his extension. So yeah, they forced a fumble on him. They got it back, and then they were able to get in field goal range and win that and kick that game-winning field goal. And I was like, these motherfuckers. Well, surely they'll lose to the Chargers. Don't get me wrong. Now I think the Chargers are a flawed team in their own ways, but surely they can. The Chargers at home. You know what I'm saying? The Chargers at home. I guess that's it. But I'm like, surely, they can beat the Bucs, and then they got curb stomped. And so they head into Dallas, and I'm thinking, nah, it's not gonna happen. I mean, they just beat San Diego. They just beat LA Chargers in LA. I'm like, well, yeah, they about to handle the Cowboys. No, wrong. You got that one incorrect. You know what I'm saying? You got the little red dots when you on Jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? You lost all your money on the Daily Double. But yeah, we got this. We got hope. We got hope. We got hope, Cam. We got hope.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. The Bucs, they dropped the ball on that one and gave us a little early Christmas gift.
That's right. That's right. So now it's time for us to open say.
I did unwrap it last Sunday night. Yes, man. We're back at top of the division. Feels good, man. Feels great. 8-7 in control of our destiny. But we have a big test coming up.
We sure do, man.
You could essentially call this a playoff test because that's what it is. We're fighting for our playoff lives against a playoff team.
Yeah. It's basically a playoff game for us. Like, for Washington, they got a slim chance of still capturing the division. If they win and Philly loses and they win out and Philly loses out, they might be able to snatch the division from them. But for us, hey, all the chips on the line. All the marbles are on the line. Because we going on the road. We going on the road. We got to face our old coach. They got their own young quarterback. They got 10 wins. They just coming off a big win. They on a 3-game win streak. And we out here unveiling our new tool. Our new guy, Michael Penix Jr. with the big Penix energy. And hopefully we feeling confident. We feeling good. You know, now when we came into this game, I think we did our predictions some time out, and I know I picked them to win, and I think you didn't. But now that obviously things have changed, so we'll hold our predictions to the end. But that's how we started out. We'll see if we still feel the same way as we go. All right. So look, Cam, this a huge game coming up. This a huge game coming up. What storylines you looking forward to the most out of this game? Just leading into it, you know what I mean, before we get into the football stuff. Oh, Cam, you're frozen on my end.
Penix versus Daniel. Yeah, can you
Oh,
hear me? Can you hear me?
there you go. You're back now. You're back. I don't know maybe the internet connection bad today. It is cold out. I
Hey
don't
man,
know.
hey, it's the holidays. Everybody at home using the internet. I get it. I get it. Us too. Got to find a
Yeah,
way to stay
yeah,
occupied. But yeah, man.
yeah.
The biggest storyline so far, I'd have to say, is Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix. But we have a lot of other storylines as well that are also substantial. To me, the one that's the most important one to me is Raheem versus Dan. Dan
Yeah.
Quinn, former Falcons coach, led us to arguably you could honestly say it was arguably the greatest Falcon season of all time for us as a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
You can go back and talk about that 99 season or the 98 season when we went like 14-2, or I think, and then we made the Super Bowl and lost to the Broncos. But we got our ass beat in that Super Bowl.
Yeah. Lost by
This
like
one,
19.
we had the best offense in the
15.
league, steamrolling dudes, obliterated Green Bay in the NFC Championship game, and of course, 28-3. That's Dan Quinn, baby. And we have, who was also on that team, part of the coaching staff, we have Raheem Morris, who coincidentally was also a part of the coaching staff in Washington when McVay was there, when Kyle Shanahan was there. So Raheem has been around the block a few times. He's been a part of a few different coaching staffs. And this is going to be a good matchup. We got Raheem, Dan Quinn, Falcons coach of past, Falcons coach of now. We're going to see. That's really why I want to win. And I love Dan, but just like I still got a sour taste in my mouth of how we ended, and like that last season where we legit blew every damn game. We started off 0-5, and every game we lost in that 0-5 start was a blown lead. We
No, it wasn't
capitulated.
even a blown
It was
lead, bro. We
good.
were just getting steamrolled.
I
It
mean,
wasn't even
that's
blown
we were
leads,
getting
bro.
steamrolled.
We did blow that one against Dallas though. That was
Oh
one of the
yeah,
most
yeah.
embarrassing losses ever. Dudes just,
Oh my god, dude.
I'm like, jump on the
Yeah,
ball.
I was.
I'm not gonna tell anybody that story again, but I did have a story about that in high school, eerily similar. Now thankfully we were on the opposite ends of that in high school. I guess I'll tell a brief version of the story. We were in high school. The guy kicked the ball down, but the ball was short, and I guess they thought it was gonna roll out of bounds, and they just kept waiting. And I'm like, boy, you better look up. So I got jumped on the ball, and we recovered the ball. It wasn't even an onside kick. It was a short kick, and we got down there, and he just was looking at it. And I'm like, oh, you done blew that, boy. I know that coach. I'm like, damn, boy, just how hard is it to think, damn, let me just jump on the ball, especially like a ball that's dying in front of you. Like I'm like, if it's dying, man, just get on it, man. Like nothing can, hey, nothing bad will happen if this play ends with you with the ball.
Absolutely.
Nothing bad will happen. That's the only thing that got to happen at the end of any of these types of plays, that you end up with the ball. All right. Look, that's a pretty big storyline to me too. Just from a coaching perspective, right? You look at that one. You say, you get two coaches that were on the same staff, but also this is the second opportunity. Now, the path they took to get there was completely different. Dan Quinn, he basically took 2 years off as a DC. I guess 2 years really on as a DC in Dallas, and then was able to get a job. While Raheem, he had to do a decade in the league before he got his second opportunity. So I'm expecting Raheem to maybe have a little more sense of urgency. As a coach, I know he doesn't want to, blow his opportunity, but he also, I feel like he had a little bit more to learn than Dan from his opportunity, just because, Dan, he had a lot of success. He just got to look at the things he did wrong and clean that up. while Raheem kind of gotta find everything about how he wanted done. You know what I'm saying? As a winner, as how you want to keep his job in the league. I'm also real excited for the first round QB matchup. First time on prime time that two QBs taken in the first round have faced off in prime time game, and that's gonna be huge. Now, the reason I'm not as up for that one is because obviously the two quarterbacks don't play against each other, but also they had two completely different parts of that process during the year, right? Jaden Daniels is about to play his 16th game. Michael Penix Jr. is about to play his second, right? And he's about to play his second in a hostile road environment with all the marbles on the line, while Jaden Daniels is about to play his 16th. They at least have their playoff spot locked up, pretty much, I think. And or maybe not. If they not, they got a lot to play for too. But even if they don't get it now, I mean, they get New York. No. They get Dallas.
They do have the spot locked up. Their seed may not be locked up, but they're
They're a 10-win team, right? They got to be locked up, right? But it's harder to say if it's locked up because of when you look at like I don't think it's locked up because Green Bay and Minnesota immediately have two spots, right? So there's only one spot, and if they lose out and we beat them, depending on how it goes. I mean, if we win out, we win the division. So I guess that's not consequential to them. But out west, I think maybe they got some competition there too between the Seahawks and the Rams. But if the Rams don't win that division, I don't know. Maybe they do get it locked up just because even if they lose, like the situation where they lose out still involves us winning in different ways. Like we couldn't take a wild card spot from them by beating them head to head and winning one game. We'd have to make up two games to catch them at 10 games apiece. But if we got 10 wins, we win our division instead. So I think for them to lose out is what would happen. For them to lose that spot, we would have to win out. They would have to lose out. Tampa would have to win out. Then Tampa beat them in the first game of the year, so Tampa would be in the 7th seed instead of Washington. Yeah, they're doing a lot of math there. But yeah, looking forward to seeing where our quarterbacks are. Where our quarterback is. I don't need to really care about what Jaden Daniels is. We know he's looking good, but this will be, to me, this is a gentler upgrade of a test, right? So I feel like the game against New York, that's a dress rehearsal. That's a team. They're not gonna put a ton of pressure on you with their offense. They got Dexter Lawrence out, Brian Burns hurt. You're not really impressed with their coverage abilities. This just was a good game for a rookie to get started in, right? But now you're going to play a team that got a little bit more in the pass rush department. You got a team that has a lot more on the offensive department, right? They at least got one really good corner in Marshawn Lattimore. So now you're about to have a team that might force you to have to put up points, right? But I'm excited about that. That's not really all a bad thing to me. I think even if they do put up points and we have to put up points, that's going to be a great chance for everybody to really see what Penix can do. Why I fell in love with him during his draft process, notwithstanding that we paid Kirk, and I was like, what the fuck are we doing taking the quarter? But before we even got to that part, watching him in Washington, I'm saying to myself, yo, the way this guy throws the deep ball and the games he would keep his team in. You know what I'm saying? Like that game against Oregon, he had that game against Stanford. Like these were just games that I'm like, yo, no matter how close the game is, this dude don't blink. When he got the ball, he gonna make a play. He gonna make an explosive play, and y'all gonna still be in it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Oh, I agree, man. Highly touted out of college, despite the injuries. I'm excited to see what he can do, man. Jaden Daniels, he's also extremely explosive. He's their second leading rusher. I believe
No, he's the leading rusher now.
I think you mentioned that by like how many, like 30, 20, like 30 or 40 yards.
I think
Only
like
like
8.
Brian
No,
Bur-
it's like 8. He's like 8 yards ahead of Brian Robinson. He's got like 737, and Brian Robinson has like 729, something like that.
Okay, but even still, Jaden Daniels has had a phenomenal year. In my opinion, I think he's rookie of the year. Some people might want to give it to Bo Nix, but I'm giving it to Jaden Daniels. I think he's done more. Um, I think his just what he's done with his team has been a little bit more impressive. He's beaten a few more quality teams than I think Bo has. He's produced a few more game-winning drives. He had that Hail Mary. He had that game-winning drive against Philly this past week. He's
Yeah.
looking polished. He's looking like the real deal. He's looking like a guy who's. We mentioned this in the last podcast. The one place you don't want to be as a team is in QB purgatory. The Redskins look like they're past QB purgatory. They look like they got their guy.
Yeah.
Granted, everybody goes through a sophomore slump, so who knows? Maybe next year he kind of falls back down to earth a little bit. But all in all, I see a guy who year in and year out can lead this team to the playoffs. He has the
So
intangibles. He can run the ball extremely well. He has a great deep ball. He can pinpoint some passes. Yeah, he may make a mistake here and there. And truth be told, the only real gripe I had about him coming out of college was I think he was a little light in the ass. I thought he was skinny.
yeah.
That to be honest, that's the only gripe I really had on him. I'm like, he's too skinny for the league, man. But hell, he has even proven me wrong in there. Jaden
I feel like
Daniels
Lamar opened that door for skinnier running quarterbacks to get more of a serious look. So Vic was a small quarterback too. You know, he was 6 feet tall, but he was still kind of stock. I mean, he really wasn't that big. I had walked by Big Vic before. He got a little build to him, but yeah, he was a little guy. But Lamar looked real wiry, and Jaden looks even skinnier than him. And I was like, I don't know about taking no hits, but you know, this is not the NFL of old. This is modern day NFL, and guys can't land on you, put weight on you. They can't, you know, hit you here. They can't hit you there. You know, they can only hit you in the stomach basically, and they can't do that too hard. So, you know, it's the quarterback gets so much more protection. It opens up that window for slimmer quarterbacks. So I guess that's a great segue into just talking about our defense and our defensive matchup against Washington. All right. So when we talk about Washington, we look at that team, we say that's a team that is very well rounded as far as their ability to produce, right? This team where Jaden Daniels has thrown for 3,300 yards. He's also the team's leading rusher at 737 with Brian Robinson, you know, right behind him. So, you know, you're looking at a team that can run the ball. You're looking at a team that can pass the ball. You're looking at a team that scores the ball really well. They score like 29 points a game. So they're the fourth highest scoring team in the league. This is a team that they do have some weaknesses though. They have a lot going on. They put the ball in the end zone a lot, but they do have some weaknesses, right? So and this is the testament to Jaden Daniels because this is where having a guy like Jaden Daniels changes things. So one of our biggest weaknesses as far as our offense before was that, you know, Kirk Cousins was a non-mobile quarterback. Teams know how to get to Kirk and where he's going to be when they get there, right? With Jaden Daniels, you know, you can get pressure on Washington, but, you know, that's only half the battle when you got a quarterback that mobile and that explosive. You're going to go ahead and you're going to get the pressure, but what happens when you get down? You're going to be able to get to him, or you're going to be able to get him down on the ground? Now, when we played over these last 4 games, we've been very proficient at rushing the passer. One of the things that gives me a little bit of hope is that we've played against some really good, really mobile quarterbacks in Justin Herbert, Sam Darnold, Desmond Ridder, Drew Lock. But none of those guys are as explosive as Jaden Daniels, right? The other thing too is they allow Jaden to be a willing runner. You know, he's not just running on scrambles. Like they draw up plays for him to run the ball. He scrambles a lot too, and so this gonna be an offense that we're gonna have to. We probably won't be able to take everything away, but it's gonna be an offense where I think we match up a little bit better with than I originally thought. So I'm taking down memory lane over these last few weeks. All right. Now, while our defense has played better since the bye week, which game would you say was definitely the worst one since the bye week?
The Vikings game, of course.
Didn't have to think too hard about it, right?
Didn't have to think hard at all.
At all. So one of the things I noticed in that 4 game stretch, like I said, was you look at team composition, right? So while everybody had a quarterback that at least had some mobility, some of those teams could run the ball. You know, the Chargers could run it, the Vikings could run it some, but you don't really think the Raiders and the Giants don't really do anything particularly well, right? But when you talk about composition, what would you say the Vikings had more of as far as the positions on their offense versus if you compare them to the Chargers or the Raiders or to New York, the Giants?
They have some horses on the outside.
They got horses on the outside. They got some stallions that are catching the ball for them. All right. What I've noticed is over those last 3 games, the teams that don't have that same level of explosive firepower at those positions, they haven't been doing as well against us. All right, because when it's a lot easier to play the kind of defense that our team has been effective playing when you can say, all right, AJ, cover whoever you covering. I wish they would let him shadow more, but cover whoever you covering, take that guy out the game, and we're gonna let them beat whoever. But usually no matter who these teams have been throwing the ball to, they don't throw at AJ. Right. I think I saw a stat recently that AJ is, I want to say AJ is top 5 in least targeted corners in the NFL.
He's number 3.
Number 3?
I just looked it up today. It was a stat I saw. I can't remember who was number 2, but like AJ right now.
It's probably like Patrick Surtain, like either 1 or 2.
It's like Patrick Surtain, one other guy, the AJ Terrell are the 3 least targeted cornerbacks in the league right now.
Right. Like teams making a hard effort to stay away from him. Now, to be fair, it's a lot more.
It was Jalen Johnson.
That's a good corner too. That's an all-pro level corner too.
Exactly.
You stay away from those guys, but also, now to be fair, D. Alford been leaving some meat on the bone, so them teams coming to get it. That's why they ain't worried so much about going to AJ when they say, "Hey man, let's go at number 20."
Hey, meat on the bone, man. Hey,
boy.
I don't know if you grew up. Hey, I grew up. First time you eat some chicken wings, you left some meat on the bone. Your mom looked back at you like, "Hey, if you don't,
you can't get no more chicken wings if that's how you eat. You can't
get no more. You gotta keep eating. There's some meat on that bone, like that."
Oh man, yeah, boy. Them boys seeing a 6-piece lemon pepper wet when they look at D. Alford. You know what I'm saying? Them boys trying to get it. So D. Alford gonna have to bring his A game, right? And because the thing I noticed with them is Terry McLaurin. So Jaden Daniels, as I stated earlier, he had 3,300 passing yards, right? 1,000 of those go to Terry McLaurin. So Terry McLaurin accounts for roughly 30% of his entire passing production. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot for one receiver. So that tell you, all right, that's the guy we can't let go off. But then when you start looking down the line, they lost Noah Brown, so the stats are a little off for who the number 2 receiver would be, because Noah Brown was he wasn't doing amazing, but he had a decent pace going. He had almost 500 receiving yards when he went down in the 11th game, right? But you look at their receivers, you see Alameda Zacchaeus, you see Jamison Crowder. When you look at the tight end, you see Zach Ertz. Yeah, Zach Ertz is there. And Zach Ertz is their second leading receiver. He would be number 5 on our team. Hell, I think even Pitts might have got more receiving yards than him. Might have more receiving yards than him. You know what I'm saying? Hell, we ain't seen Pitts on the field for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, except for the time he dropped the pass that got picked off.
Yeah,
Except for the
truth be
time where
told,
Kirk tried to force feed him the ball and was not force feeding him the right way. Man, that man
no,
was
I
trying to
agree.
feed. He was trying to feed Pitts soup with a spoon with a fork. He like, go ahead, eat your soup with this fork. So
Man, this is having flashbacks of Mariota and Ritter.
yeah, because and then Pitts got to take advantage of his. We're gonna get to that when we talk about our offense. But yeah. So long story short, this is a team that they bring an explosive receiver on the outside, but that's really the only weapon they have on the outside. They have a running quarterback. They have a good running game with their running backs. The quarterback for them is really accurate as well. So Jaden Daniels, I think he's completing his passes at like 70%. So he's like super accurate. They probably throw, when you have 70% from a rookie, though, obviously they probably throwing a lot of screens, just easy throws to give him some completions. But I've had my eye on Washington a few times this year. Washington can definitely be explosive when they need to be. And like you said, Jaden Daniels throws an amazing deep ball. So that's kind of one of those reasons they've been able to be explosive in those moments when they really need to, because they can get that from there. But what you notice in the games that they lose is those are games where teams are able to stop the run. Teams are able to contain Terry McLaurin, and then teams are able to get pressure on Jaden Daniels. And I guess that's where I feel that there's a little cracks in armor, a little something for us to work with. Because believe it or not, I know for a minute there now, y'all boys thought we had the worst defense in the league. I know for a minute there now that shit was how it seemed. But on a yard per carry basis,
hmm
that's a top 10 run defense.
Oh, absolutely.
Teams get 4.3 yards a carry on us, and that was before we played played the Raiders and the Giants. I know y'all was like, "Oh, them two alone was so bad they brought us up like 3 spots." No, 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 no. It wasn't them. We were there before that. All right.
hmm
So this a
hmm
team. We can maybe stop Ryan Robinson. Get them in them third and long situations, and that's important because Washington converts third downs very, very well. Right. So we got to make sure that they in third and longs, they're not getting them conversions. Also, teams have been able to get some pressure on them. Well, well, well. Would you look at our revived pass rush over the last 4 weeks?
Sir.
Would you look at that pass rush? Y'all ready to hear some shit?
hmm Lay it on me,
Even
man.
today, Falcons still only got 26 sacks. Over the last 4 weeks, we got 16 of those sacks. 11 games, we had 10 sacks. Over the last 4 weeks, we don't have 16. We getting pressure, right? And then to bring it home, we talked about the composition of that team, right? Only the one explosive receiver on the outside. I don't think that's enough. I think you can exploit our secondary some, but when Mike Hughes is playing well, I don't think you can really. But say Mike Hughes having an off day, and then did offer having one of those games. Well, when AJ is still on, because AJ the $20 million guy, he the one who got to be on every game. That's what we pay him for. When he on, I think even if he have an off day, Mike Hughes can handle Lamadeza Kids. No disrespect to former Falcon Lamadeza Kids. No disrespect. I love that guy brought here, former Cavalier.
hmm
So yeah, that's a lot of how I view that matchup. Now, what do you view about that matchup? I went on for like a good 10 minutes just rambling. People over here like, damn, is Sterling on the pod by himself? No, I ain't on the pod by myself, Cam. Man, what you think about that, man? What you think about Washington's offense and how we can handle that?
Oh, AJ will absolutely be targeted this game. 100%. Jaden Daniels has shown that he will repeatedly go to his main guy. And I respect that from a quarterback. That's your guy. Go to him. So AJ will have his hands cut out for him come Sunday night. Now, as far as the other guys, they can be had. They don't really have guys like that. They got Jamison Crowder. They got Alameda Kids. They got Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz ain't the Zach Ertz with the Eagles. Zach Ertz, he's lost a step. He's still good. Don't ever get it confused. He's still good, but he has lost a step. We can take advantage of this. You've said this before. We take advantage of offenses when they don't have horses on the outside. They only really got one horse. So in order for us to really dial in on this, because I know we're going to get into this next segment, so we're kind of leading into that. But in order for our defense to stop this Washington offense, we're going to have to stop Jaden. He is their number one leading rusher. He is very accurate from pass. What you mentioned, he's passing about like 70% this year. That's amazing. That's amazing for any quarterback.
It really is.
That's fantastic for a rookie. That's exceptional for a rookie.
It really is.
Brandon Daniels is looking like the best QB in the draft right now. I'm hoping Michael Penix can be that guy, but we haven't seen enough tape on him. He passed the eye test. I ain't gonna lie. I love him.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I can't lie.
I like what we got. I ain't gonna hold you, but hey,
I ain't upset.
Jaden Daniels has proven through 16 games that hey, Washington can go ahead and say, hey, we don't need to draft another quarterback. We got our guy. They can spend the rest of their draft picks building up the squad to support their guy. So that being said, yep, we gotta figure out a way to contain him. I know as a team we struggle to stop running mobile QBs, and Jaden is very mobile. He will not hesitate to take off, and then not for like long gains, small things like he'll take off for 5, 6, 10 yards. He's just moving the sticks. Washington, and it's also maybe because I put a little bit more attention to them because Jaden Daniels is my fantasy QB.
That's right.
I'm not like Sterling. I lost in the semifinals. I'm playing in a third place game. We can't all be winners. But hey, even still though, I really noticed I started paying attention to more games with him. He is very good at leading Washington to long drives. He's very good at orchestrating long, successful drives, touchdown drives for them. He's very good at that.
Aren't they one of the best in the league? Aren't they like the best in the league of like 10 plus play drives?
They might be. They are fantastic at it.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels has a firm control of that offense. This is going to be a big test for us. It's going to be a real big test for our defense to see can they continue the positive turn that they've been on lately and able to get some pressure on him, get some sacks, get some QB hurries, throw him off his game because that's what it's going to take to be able to beat him because he's their leading rusher. He's passing the ball crazy. He just went off on a crazy game-winning drive for them last week against the Eagles, who were fighting for the number 1 seed at one point. So At this point, hey, this Washington team is for real. They can be had, but don't get it mistaken. This team is for real.
Man, look, I'm right with you, and I gotta admit, when we talk about the matchups, I think one of the things I neglected to mention was that I don't know if Washington likes to spread the ball out more, but one of the most dangerous things about having that running quarterback is that now that's like, okay, now my quarterback's the runner. Now I can spread you out because I don't need a lead back. I don't need, an extra blocker to account for because my quarterback's, he's not going to be blocking. So I got to account for X, Y, and Z. No, the quarterback getting the rug. So we can spread you out, and then when you in man coverage and all of y'all following all the receivers and nobody's following the quarterback, well, the quarterback about to go ahead and convert that third down with his legs because he's gonna juke the shit out your linebacker that's 50 pounds heavier than him and not nearly as athletic. So I think our dime package and our nickel package is gonna be huge. Like how we stop the run with light boxes is going to be huge. Who we have to spy Jaden, if it comes to that, is going to be huge, right? And I'm not sure how it's going to shake out because a big part of our pass rush has been Caden Ellis, but that leads me to wonder, all right, well, who's the other person who's back there? Is it going to be a safety, or are we going to bring out Are we going to bring a safety to spy him, or are we going to have another DB on the field, like have Richie Grant out there? No disrespect, Richie, sorry, but I hadn't liked what I seen on film from you, so sometimes I say your name and I say, ugh, that's just what it is. My bad, bro. But yo, man. They bring a lot to the table, and if I'm being candid, if we keep them uncontained, right? There's a team that averaged 29 points a game. If we hold them to like 20, I think we'll be good. But if we don't, where it gets exciting is on the flip side of the ball. Let's go ahead and talk about our offense facing up against that defense, right?
Oh yeah, baby.
So, like I said, Penix got an easy one. He led the offense to 20 points. He did lead them to opportunities for more. They missed a field goal. Riley Patterson missed a 42-yard field goal. Kyle Pitts, the drop that turned into a pick was right up on the goal line. That was an opportunity for another 3 points. So there's a realistic, way for you to see the path to the Falcons scoring 26 points with him as your quarterback. And then obviously they laid off the gas at some point in the second half. So, Penix didn't get a chance to really unleash. I think this is going to be a game where you really get to see Penix unleash because he has to, right? Because he might have to. I don't think he's going to get just take it easy against this team and, we're fine. Like, this was a team that was down 21-7 in the first quarter last week. Now, where they did get some help was Jalen Hurts went down in the first quarter. For some frame of reference of how that affected the game, Kenny Pickett threw 24 passes and had 143 passing yards. Now, I know we weren't impressed with Michael Penix's game, but hell, he had 3 more attempts. He at least threw for 200. So on 27 pass attempts, he gave you 200 yards. So he had 3 more pass attempts and he had 4 more completions. So only on 4 more completions, he had 60 more yards. Right now, I think this is a game where, I'm a little nervous that Raheem gonna want to be a little conservative because he understands what he's asking to Penix. That hey, we putting Penix in an unenviable situation. You're a first-round draft pick. You're replacing a $100 million man. You're a rookie, and we need these games because this ain't no learning experience for you. We need this to make the playoffs. So now you got to be at the top of your game, right? And we get a team that's very much like the Giants is impressively efficient at being bad at stopping the run. All right. They see like a bottom 4 percentage of plays against them, are run plays, but they like top 4 in yards per run allowed. And it's a little surprising because obviously Jonathan Allen's on IR, but they trot out some dogs now. They still got Daron Payne. They got Jerzon Newton, Johnny Newton. That's a guy that some of you Falcons fans gonna be familiar with because y'all was dying for us to take him. I know some of y'all was ready to say F these guys when they traded up and took Rukeroro instead of Johnny Newton after they done already took Michael Penix. I know y'all was like, well, I'm done with these boys. But hey, man, Rook been making plays, though. Rook been making plays. Y'all got to get off that, man. Rook been looking good. I think you're going to see a little bit more of that next year. But but yeah, so they got that on the inside. Dorrance, is it Dorrance or Durrell? I can't remember which one. There's an Armstrong at the end. They also bringing in the Dan Quinn special. They bringing back your boy Dante Fowler Jr. I call him the Dan Quinn special because he got so when Dan Quinn was at Florida, he wasn't a head coach at Florida, but he was at Florida. He was one of the ones who personally recruited Dante Fowler Jr. Then in 2016, the year we took Vic Beasley, if you remember, the first pass rusher off the board that game was Dante Fowler Jr. And he went to Jacksonville, so it was funny. He went to Florida, then he stayed in Florida. But I think if Dante Fowler Jr. was available at the 8th pick, we would have taken him instead of Vic Beasley. I assure it.
Oh, 100%.
And the reason I assure it is because Dante Fowler Jr. played 4 years in Jacksonville. Then he went to LA for 2 years. 4 years in Jacksonville, LA for 2 years. That's why I use 2 thumbs instead of 2 fingers. So he went 4 years, 2 years in LA. And then Since then, he has not played a single season in the NFL without Dan Quinn being there. Dan Quinn has taken him everywhere. He done brought him to Atlanta. Then he went to Dallas. He brought Dante to Dallas. He in Washington. He brought Dante to Washington. But Dante got 9.5 sacks though. So, I guess playing with a lead does help a little. Right. And then that's a team that they bring a couple of good linebackers on the inside. They got Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu for all of y'all who remember our NFC South brethren. Frankie Louvu is a former Carolina Panther. If y'all still don't know who the hell that is, you're like, come on, Sterlington, man. Who the hell is Frankie Louvu? You'll probably definitely remember him as the guy that Bijan on his first touchdown, he juked him out of his shoes.
Oh man.
I know I'm not doing no justice to make him sound like he a baller, but that's probably where you know him from. But Frankie Louvu can play. And then on the back end, they got some good secondary pieces. They got Marshawn Lattimore. So they got pieces there. You would think they would be a better defense than they are. They are pretty decent against the pass, but horribly inefficient against the run. And I think this is a game where if you Raheem, you think about the situation your quarterback's being in, you look at one of the things your team's good at, which especially of late, we've been real good running the ball. I think that's where you really got appreciation for getting Drew Dahlman back as opposed to having Ryan Newsel as your center. Ryan Newsel can hold up in pass protection, but he can't move anybody off the ball. Drew Dahlman, he's not like really a mover either, but he's better at it than Ryan Newsel, so that helps. Right, so you're gonna get your boy Drew Dahlman. You're gonna get the team that can run the ball against this team that don't run the ball. That other team got an explosive offense. You're just thinking to myself, damn, if I can just keep them on the sidelines and put the ball in the end zone, that would be great. All right. We also are a team that, unlike Washington, we don't just have the one receiver. We at least got two. We got Drake London. He's at 978 on the yards for the season. Then we got Darnell Mooney, who's at 955 yards for the season. So we got two receivers that, if Drake plays, I know Drake's dealing with a hamstring. Raheem Morris said that he thought that if he had to go back in the game, he could have. He just pulled him for precautionary measures. So I think Drake will play. He did play after he hurt his knee on a touchdown grab against Dallas. Oh, it had to be Dallas. It was a touchdown grab. As you well know, there were 4 games where we didn't have any touchdown passes.
Hey,
so it's not too hard to think about which one that had to be. That's 4 games right off the map. I ain't got to think about. So, I don't think we're gonna want to attack Lattimore, but we don't have to because we got Mooney. McLeod has really caught on, and for fuck's sake, I hope that we get a meeting of the minds.
A brain trust.
with Kyle Pitts actually having a good game with his individual performance, and Zach Robinson having a good game drawing up plays for guys. Because one of the things I feel like we kind of be letting Zach Robinson off the hook for is that I don't feel like he has any intentionally deep ball plays. You know what I mean? Like when Kyle was with us back in 2016, there were plays you could tell that the first read was the deep pass, and it was going to be open against the coverage we ran. Like you remember when we played Green Bay in the Bins in the regular season, you remember Taylor Gabriel had that deep touchdown? He had like a 47-yard touchdown or 44-yard touchdown, something like that.
How could I forget?
Yeah, that was the first read, though. They had that set up. That wasn't no accident. Then you remember when we played Seattle in Seattle that same regular season, and Seattle jumped on us a little bit early. We came back, and then all of a sudden we had a couple of plays where they do that tight end leak out, and then Levine Toilolo had a big touchdown, and then they had basically a similar concept, but it wasn't a leak out. It was like Julio Jones, and he like ran out and up, and then he was wide open, and we hit him for a touchdown. But those are plays that I look at as intentionally big plays. You know what I'm saying? That's a play that we ain't got to depend on the guy catching the short, breaking the tackle, and getting loose. That's a play that I'm like, oh, if we get this coverage against this team, this gonna bust. I need to see a little bit more of that from Zay because we hadn't seen any tight end leak outs from Kyle Pitts or hell, Charlie Werner, Dawson. We haven't seen any tight end leak outs, period. But we have seen that he's been more willing to move the pocket around, let Penix do things that we didn't see Kirk do. So that's where we really going. Where one of the advantages that I think we have a little bit built in is people still don't know who the fuck Penix is. Not for real. There ain't no tape out on him for real. And Zach calling the game different. So they running plays that we ain't got tape out on. So we could surprise this defense with some shit and maybe get some big plays, which I would personally love to see. But I think maybe one of our biggest goals should be just trying to keep that offense on the sidelines. Now, what's your thoughts about our offense going against their defense?
We got the weapons, man. If we want to keep it a stat, we got horses. We got them, dog. We got Darnell Mooney. We got Drake London. Ray is finding his form. Look at our backfield. We got Tyler Algier and we got Bijan. Truth be told, Penix is mobile and can move, but he's more, unlike Jaden, he's more of a pocket passer. He chooses to stay in the pocket more and is more of a guy who's willing to just dish it out. He's not willing to scramble as much as Jaden will. I'm not saying Penix won't, but it's not his MO. It's not something he's going. It's not something he's going out of his way to do. Right. Now, as far as the offense against their defense, of course you don't want to attack Marshawn Lattimore. He's known to be a Falcon killer. He's known to lock up some of our top guys. I get it. But he didn't have the greatest game against Philly.
He did not.
He got exposed. And right now, as of Thursday, he did not practice today. So he's dealing with a hamstring injury. So right now he's going into the week. He's going into Sunday night, not fully healthy. Granted, do I think he'll play? Yeah, of course. But he won't be at full strength. I think we can capitalize on that. I'm not saying we got to target him, but I don't think we got to shy away from him.
Oh, I think we could. With the information you give me, go ahead, Mooney. Go ahead, let that man run some today. Let's go ahead and test that hammy.
That's what I'm saying. I think we have enough horses on our team to score some points, man. We finally, and you made a good point. We don't have tape on Penix. Zach Robinson can fully open up that playbook. Right now, when we had immobile Kirk, the playbook was like this. We cracking it open, wide open. We got everything. We flipping through every page because now we can do that now.
I ain't gonna lie, boy. My dirty mind when you said busting it wide. I mean, you didn't even say busting it. You said cracking it wide open. I was like, huh? Oh, we got to bust it open with our big Penix.
Right? We can do anything we want now. We got a mobile quarterback. We got a quarterback whose arm has some pop to it because he can sling that thing effortlessly. Yeah. He's got a great deep ball. I think this is going to be a good matchup. As far, I know we're going to get into score predictions. I know we're going to get into that a little bit later. But, man, I'm excited to see what our offense can do against a legit playoff contending team. Like, it's gonna be tough, but we'll see what happens. I think we have the dogs to do it. I think we have the talent to do it. One thing I need for us is we need to establish a run game. That's first and foremost. We gotta get Bijan going. 2.
Are these your keys to win? Because I was just about to ask you what are what you think are those keys?
Oh, especially on offense. On offense, establish the run game, get some play action going, utilize the weapons that we have on the outside because we got plenty now. We got options. We got options galore, man. I don't mind when the ball goes to Ray. I don't mind when we dish it out to other people, dog. We got Darnell. We got Drake, Ray, Pitts. I'm not willing to give up on Pitts just yet. Sure, he had that one pick that made Penix look bad. People will be getting on him. It is what it is.
It was really a one-off play. It's just because it's Pitts that it's really annoying, yeah.
It is what it is. Hey, man. Pitts got it in him, bro. Do the 6'6", man, run a 4.4. Let's get some tight end leagues going on. Let's get him the ball in open space, man. Let's play to our team's strengths. That's the key to victory. Play to our strengths. Let's do that. And as far as defense goes, we gotta find a way to contain Jaden.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost, man. He's their leading rusher, and he's passing the ball at a 70% percentage rate. We got to find a way to limit him, man. To me, the biggest key for this game is to stop the run in general. Stop Jaden, stop Brian Thomas, and make them just throw the ball. Because I don't believe they have the weapons on the outside to win the game like that.
You mean Ryan Robinson, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Stop Brian Robinson. Stop Jaden.
My bad. Look, when I say you had me mixed up, you got to remember Brian Thomas Jr. He played with Jaden at LSU.
Oh yeah,
For a minute there, like I'm thinking about Washington, but like the colors just bleep the yellow and purple real quick. I was like, wait, my brain.
That's something I think we can do, man. If we can stop the run, then we can stop Washington.
Yeah, look, man. Look, my keys to the game are simple. Control the ball and control the clock, right? So by control the ball, control the clock, I mean run the ball. I mean don't turn the ball over. I mean force turnovers, right? We got to win the turnover battle. We still a team that we are. I think we undefeated when we win the turnover battle, and we got like one win after losing the turnover battle, but pretty much all of them are losses, and we lose the turnover battle in almost all of our losses. You know what I'm saying? Except for like one where we broke even on it or something like that. I can't remember. But so we gotta be in control of the ball, right? I think that's one of our first things we got to do to limit this explosive offense. We got to stop that run game. At least stop the planned runs. Like maybe we're not gonna be able to stop all of Jaden Daniels' runs. He's a quarterback and he's an explosive athlete. We just might not always be able to do that. But we can't let them get a steady diet of running the ball when they want to run the ball and how they want to run the ball, and they ended up in third and mediums and third and shorts. We got to be able to get some negative plays and get them behind the sticks and basically get them to give us the ball back, right? The other thing too that's got to happen is we're gonna have to be explosive a little bit. We're gonna have to take advantage of the ability to the fact that we got a new quarterback with a big arm with more legs. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we go ahead and attack him down the field a little bit, flip the field a little, just do everything we can to make sure that some of these drives in the scoring drives. They're a really great team at getting those 10-play drives and putting the ball in the end zone. We might not always be able to do that, so we're gonna have to have explosive plays along the way, right? And I think the other one is just Zach Robinson called a good game. All right, Zach Robinson got to be the guy to really unlock this whole thing. Zach Robinson's gonna have to be the one because Jimmy's starting to pull it together. It's high time we start giving Jimmy some praise because the guys are getting pressure. That's gonna be one of the little keys that kind of matter that I'm not gonna mention because if I mention all the keys, then just play good football. That's ultimately every key to win every game is just play good football. But when you say keys, it's like, all right, if you do these things, you should win against this team, even if you shit the bed every other way else, right? So, what's your score prediction, Cam?
Man, I know in our bye week episode I had us losing this game, but new hands have touched the beacon.
I got your hands on you, boy.
We got new hands touching the beacon, and his name is Michael Penix Jr. Our team is looking a little different after this bye week. Our defense has shown up. Our offense has a little bit more explosiveness to it. We got a new QB at the helm. New information has come to light. I'm feeling a bit optimistic. Maybe it's the holiday spirit. Maybe the drunken Cam is kicking in. But hey, man, I'm thinking 28-24 Falcons.
It's a good score prediction, brother. I think it's going to be a close one too. I think I got it 27-24 Falcons. Look, I picked the Falcons to win this game before we got to this point in the season, I said, all right, the Falcons probably I said, calm down, y'all. The Falcons going to be losing a bunch of games, but I think they could make it up at the back end of the season. Now this game is looking like a daunting game. I won't lie to you. This is a team that I said had flaws then. This team that I still think has flaws now. I think that, we're going to have to play some good football. We're not getting off the hook here. That's why it's not going to be a blowout at all. We also probably going to give up some points in this one. Hell, maybe it'll be close. Maybe it'll be more so along the lines of 30-27. I think this game going to have some points in it. But, hey, I'm wearing all red today because I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Baby,
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I think that the Falcons, I don't know. Look, I'm excited and I'm happy to be excited. And I ain't going to shy from it. I'm not going to hide it. I am happy to have something to look forward to, have something to believe in. And I think that these guys about to go ahead, get out there, get this dub.
Oh, yeah, baby.
That's how we feeling, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll keep y'all a little longer than we wanted to keep y'all, to be honest. Like, we was like, shit, we do this when we get off work. We be tired. So, Cam, anything else you want to throw in before we get out of here?
Hey, man, it's a good day to be a Dirty Bird. Rise up. Hopefully this coming Sunday, we're in full control of this division with only the Panthers to go to clinch, and we can call this a playoff team, baby. I'm going to speak it into existence.
Well, hey, while you speaking it into existence, let's go ahead and speak the Panthers beating the Bucks in Tampa Bay, us winning in Washington, clinching the division in prime time on Sunday Night Football. Let's go ahead, talk it in, talk these positive thoughts, y'all. Look, hope you had a wonderful holiday, had a wonderful, even if you didn't do anything, but just enjoy time off from work. Hope you enjoyed that too. Really enjoyed having you guys. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the little bell when you know some real niggas uploading. Peace.